learn how to create some dashboards. So the easiest way to create a dashboard is starting from a visualization. So I'm just going to start from where I stopped here. So I have that search by where I'm counting events.
Can you share this search after?
Yes. Yeah, this is a very big search. I should have created a row. Yeah, I'm gonna just open a text file. I'm gonna search everything. Analytics event status. Okay. So when you have the search and you created a visualization, you want to start creating a dashboard with that. So the easiest way to do that is, again, every object you create in Splunk is belongs to your user. So think of dashboards, panels, and everything you created are objects that will be owned by your user, so you can create them as much as you want. So you can come here in the Save As and save as a dashboard panel. So a dashboard is made from several panels. So when we save as a dashboard panel, we have the ability to create a new dashboard or add this panel to an existing dashboard. So we have a bunch of existing dashboards here, but I'm going to create a new one, call it, I'll delete later, Splunk Bootcamp. So this is how you add this search results to a new dashboard, and you basically just need to do that, and it will create a dashboard for you. It will create a dashboard with one panel, and that will be the URL. So it's pretty straightforward. This is a URL you can share, you can send to anybody.
Where did you click, sorry?
You click in Save As. After then Save As has the option to save as a dashboard panel, and then it will ask you if you want to create a new dashboard or add this panel to an existing. So this is the dashboard, and this is the panel. And this is something I have here.
So this dashboard belongs to you.
Yes.
When you log in.
Yes. If you no. So the first thing, if you want to share, you need to edit permission. Okay. So before you send to anybody, you need to share to application. I think application is like a global application, an owner, so you can give read-write permissions to everyone. These, I think it is some mapping with our LDAP groups, sort of. So there is a permission level, and you can see if you go here up to the settings, I think it's user interface. You have access to all of your objects. No. No, there is a better place. Models, tags, use lookups. Yeah, user interface. It's supposed to be views. Yeah, so this is a view object. So it's called Splunk Bootcamp. It's in the search application. So this application is like, no, I don't want to do that. So this is the concept of application. Is like a Java context. So in Splunk you can have several applications, but the default one is search. So you have an object that is in the search application. It's owned by MarciGrow Daddy, and you can adjust your permissions, clone, delete, and everything. So dashboard is an object. Panel is an object also as well. So if I go back to the dashboard I just created, Splunk Bootcamp, and this panel is called I don't know what's the name, but probably you can find there in the view menu somewhere. Okay, so this is your dashboard. You're free to edit and everything. So if you can edit through the UI, so when you hit the UI, there's a lot of things you can do here. So you can put names in your panel, HTTP response, Monarch errors. This is the panel name. You can edit the search inline here. It's the same search that came from there. You can adjust the timing from each individual panel. So for instance, I can show a panel with the 1 day and another panel with 1 month and everything. So this is related to search, and I can change the graph. So I want a bar here or a pie. I think the search is incorrect. Yeah, it doesn't have the fix here. So you can edit. Oops, it's so I just fixed the search, much better. Yes, a pipe looks good. And I also can do fancy stuff like, so this last one changes according to the visualization you're using, though that doesn't make sense. So there's a lot of things you can do here. I don't want to explain all of them, but you can play here, legend, blah, blah, blah. And then save. Okay, so you have this panel. Let's try to create something else. So what I'm going to do is click here. So this link will open this search back in the search. So I'm going to try to create something. Let's go back to the original logs. Let's remove all of this. Let's see if there's something interesting. So let's have a look now, coming back to discoverability, some interesting fields we have here. So basically, this is interesting, this piece, this block of log, everything that runs in micros, you have this EC2 information, so which EC2 instances your microservice is running, environment which is running. So that's interesting. Let's try to have a look in all environments and EC2 host names Monarch is running on. So easily, I have the EC2 hostname and environment. So what I'm gonna do here is stats. I want number of events by environment and EC2 hostname. Oops. So I can use by with a lot of things. So we can clearly see that we have 1 machine in ADEV, 3 machines in DDEV, 2 running ProdEs, SCGs. This is the volume of request. By some strange reason, the load is concentrated in this instance. That sounds to be something wrong with the balancing. I have no idea, just trying to figure out. So possibly the one thing that is generating load is going directly to this instance instead of going to a load balancer. So I can start drilling down here, but I'm going to generate a report with only that. So I have this table, I have 3 columns. What can I chart with that? You just click here and see the option that Splunk gives you. So this is wrong. This is not exactly what I want. So let me try other stuff. This don't work as well. Yeah, this is a bit more interesting. So you see, I can clearly see that there's something a bit awkward with the balancing in the dev environment. I have no idea, but let's say that this is interesting and I want to add that in my dashboard. Just go back to save as a dashboard panel, existing, and pick your Splunk Bootcamp here. And save it. Now, if you go to your dashboard, you have a second panel. Cool. We can edit, we can drag and drop. I want this side by side. Oops. Okay, this is more or less good. And I want to change this name here. So, micros environment balancing. Cool. So I never looked at Monarch logs before, and I was able to create a minimal interesting dashboard. Okay, so this is basic concept of Splunk dashboards. But the interesting thing is, if you go to source, a dashboard nothing more is than an XML file. So you have this dashboard, the name of a dashboard, you have row, it's a line, then the panel, the search here, and this is all the graphic configuration generated by UI. So why I'm showing that? Because I want to teach an interesting feature of Splunk is creating forms, so you can make interactive stuff. So I'll just cancel that. So this dashboard is hard-coded with the time interval. There's an easy thing you can add here is add input. So you can add forms here. And the easiest one, the more straightforward, is the time. So this is the time picker from Splunk, and you can choose which time interval you want in your Splunk. But the true thing is this, if you look to the source, so this is one thing, this is a legacy thing. When you add a form, it changes from dashboard to form. And now you have a field set here. So I have this field 1. It's pretty much similar HTML form. Let's change this to time interval, just to make a more meaningful name. But I have this thing, but this is not being used by the search. It's just a dummy form. But I can do that through the UI. Oops, not save as. Cancel. Save. So I can edit. I'm just playing with UI and source to you to figure out. So I'm gonna configure here. If I configure the search, I have the option here to, it automatically detects that I have a time field form, and I can say here, so the time range for this panel, I want you to pull from that field. Apply. Oops, apply. And now, if I save this, the dashboard will not run until you pick a time. So let's see how this works for the last 7 days. So this is where it starts getting, so you can start having, yeah. So definitely there's something wrong with this. I'm not sure if this is the only access. So this is interesting. Everything is happening with Monarch in the last 7 days is concentrated in the dev in one particular host. What that means for me, nothing. What that means for the team, possibly something. The major reason is, are they aware of that? I don't know. So now let's go back to the UI. I just want to show. So we have the token. So this token is the name of the variable, and you can see that is being used here. So I want to illustrate that because you can create things like, let me see what else I can do. So for instance, greater than, if I create a input type text, HTTP code label, HTTP code greater than, and then I can use this So this is how I can have some interaction. It doesn't make sense what I did. I just added a filter. I just want to see error codes greater than 400. Let's see if that will work. Yeah, I think 200. And you see that Splunk was smart enough just to refresh the panel, which I changed the value. And just the tip of the iceberg, I won't be able to teach now. This is something you can Google because I don't know how to do from head. You can populate the values of the input with another search. So for instance, I can, let's say that I can create show me data only from DDEV or ADEV or anything. I can create a search that drill downs with a stats by just all the events that are happening and use these results to populate a dropdown and then show only. So you can have interactive populated fields with another sub-search. I don't know exactly how to do that by head, but this is something very interesting. So you can have dynamic forms to do that stuff. So, okay, this is some things, fancy things you can do with dashboards. Any questions so far? So the last concept I want to show here is the drill down configurations. So drill down, as I said, is the ability to click in something and drill down to so. So Splunk is fully oriented to drill down, so I can click here. Every time it tries to give you some meaningful link, but it's not every time correct. So let's see what happens if I click here. So it will try to create a search, drilling down. So it used the existing search and appended the value when I click on. In that case, it made sense. I really drilled down to the logs of what that section I clicked. So let's see, let's try to do something more interesting. So I'm looking to the Monarch HTTP response errors. I'm a developer. I want to see, possibly there are some 500s. I think there was. Okay, it's taking, okay, here, 500. So I want to see what are those 500s. So in this case, the drill down is working. I just click here and I have all the 500 logs. So in this case, the drill down somehow worked. Yeah, deep check is failing. Sometimes. And from the drill down, I can create another dashboard, but probably this one is better aligned. And just one more comment. When you want to create visualization by time, you use the time chart command. Time chart count. This will create what I'm trying to do. So the time chart is, so you have a stats count by a field. Time chart is like time chart something, and it would be automatically by time. Yeah, so this is the report where we had deep check failures, not deep check error 500s in a time chart. Oh, that's interesting. Let's put that in the dashboard so I can add that in the dashboard. Errors 500 by time. Cool, got a little better. So table, stats, recs, and time chart. So now our dashboard is a bit fancier. So the concept of drill down, it's clicking and narrowing down to something. But let's say that now I want to create some interactiveness with this error 500. I want to create a drill down where when I click, I need to put this input. Last 4 hours. 200. So instead of clicking here and going to the search results, I want to click here and show this graph. So I want to customize my drill down. So one thing I can do, let me see if I can easily do that. I can create a separate dashboard. This is just focused on teaching the concept. This is something you can actually do. So I'm going to create a new dashboard. Splunk Bootcamp drill down. Easy. I want to add a text input, which is HTTP code. This is wrong visualization. Okay. And I have an HTTP code. I want to use this HTTP code token here. Okay. I can do that through here, or through the XML, is the same thing. And now let's have a look. If I put 200 here, oops, 200 is the full value. Let's check if it's working. Oops, I think it's waiting for the... I think it was, given I brought the search from the other one, it was expecting the time search field. Okay, what are you waiting for? Oh, it's the wrong URL. I changed something wrong here in the UI. So HTTP code and label HTTP code token. I did something wrong in the UI. 200. Let's take it so long.
You have search issues on Square.
No, it's I think I'm searching all the time. What did you say? Sorry.
On your, if you go back and edit your search. You have search HTTP response. Is it a greater
This.
before that? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a greater. This is not necessary.
Yeah. That's what it was.
But I don't think that's the problem that's causing the
Because there
problem.
is.
It should work because it's an AND. It should work.
You're
Okay.
saying greater than 200, but not greater and equal.
Ah, yes.
Greater and equal.
Good QA catch. Yeah, okay. So I just created a search which has the HTTP code as a form. And we can see that this is in the URL as a get parameter. So now if I go back to my previews, sorry, I have to quick Google that. Let me see if I can do through the UI. I'm not sure. No.
I like the map. There's an option for a map here.
Yeah, there's some GPS global positioning.
Interesting.
Splunk drill down XML. Sorry for Googling. That's it. So you add this drill down, and then there's a dollar. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, click dollar bar. I think I'll be able to finish that. So if you edit the source, you go here to the search and add a drill down section. And you put the link you want here. That's the link we prepared. That has the option I want to click. And here it offers you this. So there is this object called click, which has some logic to pass the information on what the user clicked. So the click.value, when you have this thing, it will be automatically the value of the obviously, but there are some things around that. And this is wrong. And hopefully this will work. So let's close. So if I click here, let's see all the 404s. But instead of seeing the results, I'm going to see the time chart I just configured. Yeah, it works. So this is the drill down. You can do a lot of stuff. So basically you have to create a dashboard which expects a value using the form, and then you can create a drill down using the drill down and link thing. So these are the 404s happening. So with that, I want to wrap up the thing. So what we learned here is basic concepts about the infrastructure with Splunk. So now we know exactly what we have and what we don't have there. We learned a little bit about the discoverability, typing things in the logs and doing stats count by event type, and learned that event type is the field Atlassian used to uniquely identify the source with a meaningful name. We learned how to use table to improve the visualization of the text. How to extract fields from unstructured data using recs, regular expressions, and also the pipe concept. The powerful tool stats, where you can aggregate anything by anything. You can do averages, counts, sums, and it's like a group by SQL stats. And also time chart to generate aggregations by time. And learning how to create panels from existing search with visualization, new dashboards, how dashboards are stored inside Splunk by user permissions, and some rough concepts over drill down. So yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoy, and now you have a very powerful tool. And that's the interesting thing. I never looked at Monarch logs before, and we were able to create a very rough, meaningful dashboard. And that's why I expect working in your team, having knowledge of what's happening in production, you guys will be able to really support and create interesting stuff. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoy. Any question? So I'm gonna run a quick survey about the quality of this thing, things that needs to be improved. If this is good enough, I'm planning to make this a regular bootcamp, because I think empowering Splunk and everybody start working here will ramp
It's
up.
very important too. You have to know.
Yes.
And can you please share these dashboards with us?
I think I did.
Yeah, if you did, that's great. Thanks.
Well, let me save the link. Yes, I'm gonna save because you can play with this. I'm gonna leave it created because in the next bootcamp I don't have to struggle. I have a backup plan. So basically I'm gonna share this thing. So the analytics event stats, this is a basic search. And from this, you don't need that. From this dashboard, you have access to all the things we did here. Cool. Hope you guys enjoyed and have fun playing with Splunk.
Thank you so much. Very helpful.
Good. Thanks, guys. Remote.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Guys.